Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be doing some freediving along some springs in the Suwannee River. It's been a minute since I've taken out my freediving fins since I've been preoccupied finishing my open water certification at UF.
That's your clue to check out these other two videos if you haven't already.
But today it's time for some good old apnea fun. I'm really excited to show you these springs, and let's dive in.
The first spring that we'll be visiting today is Royal Springs in O'Brien, Florida. This is a county park, so it is free for anybody to enter. Inside the park, you'll find some picnic tables, some benches for scuba divers to set up on, and this awesome jumping platform. Before we jump in, we have to suit up, and a quick note about wetsuits. So here we have two different types of wetsuits. The one on the left is closed cell, and this one here is open cell. On the closed cell wetsuit, there is nylon inside of the wetsuit. And on the open cell one, there is just the raw neoprene on the inside, so it's rubbery to the touch. Most people have never tried to put on a dry open cell suit, but I can tell you that it's nearly impossible to put on. So I need to use a special lubricant to be able to get in. I did not lube this up enough.
No?
Nope.
It's spilled a lot.
Yeah. Here's a quick tip. That special lubricant is really just baby shampoo mixed with water, and it works like a dream. Now that we're done suiting up, it's time to hop in. Something you may find interesting is, 2 weeks ago I was here at this exact spring, and look how much better the visibility was compared to today. This is because in the last couple of weeks, the river level has gone up around 2 to 3 feet, and that tannic water from the river moves into the springs and reduces the visibility. This is called a brownout. In case you didn't know, silt is very common to find in a lot of these springs. These are particles that are smaller than sand and stay suspended in the water for longer periods of time. If it's a busy day at the springs or you're just diving for the enjoyment, please try your best to not disturb the silt. This is a demonstration to show just how easily silt is disturbed, even by gentle hand movements. And as you can see, the silt does go back down over time, but this is a message to all divers and swimmers. Please respect our springs, please minimize your impact, and please don't kick up silt. Trust me on this one, you'll be the most unpopular person at the springs that day. After exploring the spring run, I saw a group of scuba divers hop in the water, so I jumped in after them to check out what they were up to. This looked to be like a class of open water scuba divers that were just learning how to dive, and fortunately for me, I got to the springs before them and I was able to enjoy it before they caused this massive silt out. This demonstrates what I showed earlier, and now the visibility in the spring has dropped tremendously, and the whole bottom is covered in a huge cloud of silt. Looks almost like an underwater sandstorm. Now here's a tip. To avoid silting out a spring, or any other dive site for that matter, make use of good buoyancy control and proper frog kicks. These two skills are extremely important in scuba, and if you are a diver, you should be practicing these skills on every single dive, for the enjoyment of your own dive and all the other divers around you.
So, plain and simple, we hit a maximum depth of 36 feet, and the spring is absolutely magnificent. Visibility was around 20 feet today. Usually it can be a lot more, maybe a lot less, depending on the river levels. Those brown waters of the Suwannee River actually are tannic because of the decaying matter that flows into the river. So when the river gets too high, that tannic water will move into the springs that are on the shore and brown out that water. So if you're going to come visit one of these springs along the river, you want to make sure to call ahead and ask, how's the visibility? A lot of the times they'll just tell you, we've got a brown out, and that's code for the river is too high.
Up next, we're going to a little more hidden spring that most people don't know about. It's a short walk from the parking spot, and it's a nice place where the locals like to come to hang out. It's called Telford Spring, and on the way there, we actually ran into the karst window that's a part of this spring system. So this right here is a karst window. This is connecting below to the cave system, to the spring that we're about to go to. Very cool to see. While this spring is the most magnificent in size, it does have a small swim through and a large cave system that I did not attempt to go into, nor am I trained to go into. Cave diving is extremely dangerous, but thanks to Brent at Brent Dives, he has provided us with some amazing footage of the Telford cave system. So a big shout out to Brent. Go check out his YouTube channel, he's got some awesome stuff. It's scary to think that such a large and complex cave system can derive from such a small hole in the ground. A wise man once said that a rope swing and a body of water is the key to true happiness. I am that wise man.
Man, that hurt the balls. Yeah.
Only after getting hit in the bits did I realize that the river is about 3 feet higher than I last saw it, which was 2 weeks ago. We've gotten some rain up here in northern Florida, and you can see from this video from 2 weeks ago that on the same exact rope swing, my feet were just barely touching the water. Compared to today, I was struggling to keep my butt from touching the water. And this makes complete sense when you look at the comparison between the visibility of Royal Springs 2 weeks ago to now. The height of the river directly impacts the visibility of all the springs alongside it. Now we're at the last spring of the day. It pains me to say that I did not bring a spare battery for the GoPro, and as soon as I hopped in the water, I only got a little bit of footage before it died. And that stinks because this is my favorite spring out of all of them. I think that the line formations and all the unique grooves and ridges inside the spring make it so beautiful to see, and I unfortunately was not able to capture that on video today. Luckily, I do have some footage that I recorded a few months ago from this spring, and I'll throw that up in a second. But this is an absolutely outstanding spring. It is pristine, it is untouched, it has some great depth to it, it has some great cave diving. Not that I would do it, but for any cave divers that might be watching this. And a quick and loving shout out to my backup cameraman, who is my girlfriend, who has helped me get all this amazing video that you've seen today. The sun is getting low and the day is coming to an end. I'm very grateful to have been able to visit so many amazing places today and to be able to share it with you guys. So make sure to stay tuned, because the next video I'll bring you along on one of my spearfishing trips. But until then, see ya!